recently, I had one of those thoughts that happens in your 30s that kind of throws you off guard, and you're kind of surprised by yourself. You don't really recognize the thought. It kind of scares you, and you're like, oh, is this me now? Like, am I different? I never would have had this thought in my 20s. And you realize that you are getting older and changing, and your opinions and thoughts are different than they used to be. And it's weird because it scares you at first, but then you kind of just accept it. Like there's a great sense of acceptance in your 30s where you're just at peace with your new self. So I wanted to share this thought that I had. So here's my secret. I am a little tired of trying to be ambitious. Now, in my 20s, I would have scoffed at this and rode away on my high horse. You know, it's not sexy, it's not inspiring to say I'm not ambitious, but it does feel honest. And if I'm not being honest, then what am I doing? You know, I don't dream of labor, as they say. And I'm just not as success driven as I once thought I would be or thought that I should be. Now, do not get me wrong. I still want to be a creative, productive person my entire life. I want to make beautiful things and learn and grow and share them with the world. But I don't want to sacrifice everything just to have a career or, fame or success. And I don't think that most people really want that either. I think we're sort of like tricked into that. If I had all the time in the world, yes, of course. But you really do have to sacrifice a lot of things to get to a high level of success, whether it's relationships, sleep, health, having fun at all. I don't know if I want to sacrifice those things. Sometimes, yeah, to like make a goal or to, get through a certain period. If I'm like finishing a fun project, I'll eat crappy or stay up really late for a few days. But like on a regular basis, no, I don't want to. I want to paint, but not when I'm sick or tired or even just worked like a really long day or when my friend is having like a fun movie night. I want to attempt a balanced life. I don't think balance is really real, but I like attempting it, having a shot at it. And chasing like extreme ambition doesn't really leave room for any sort of attempt at balance. And here's another thought. Maybe being average is actually the radical choice. Maybe being average is actually good enough. So when I think about my hometown, if I bump into someone from high school or even just like see them online, I feel like my level of ambition is actually really high. I feel like I'm in a good place when I meet other people and like judge myself compared to the general population. I feel like I'm at a good place. And I'm just proud of myself and proud of my life. And it's not the best, like most successful life ever. I have a lot of issues, and struggles and things to get through. But I, again, like feel pretty good about things comparatively, I guess. So that's in real life and just like in my circle of like who I grew up with and my family and people, neighbors, things like that. But online, I am the least ambitious person alive. I am absolutely not even on the radar of even average, right? Like that's how I feel. And I know intellectually, like the hyper successful people I'm seeing online, like they have been doing this for decades. They have so many resources. It's not a fair comparison or fight. But my lizard brain just sees that and says, oh, me dumb, me stupid, me can't do anything. So why try? More chocolate, more chips, more TV. Like that's what my brain says when I see, all the successful people online. I'm just like, what? Like, how are there so many amazing people out here? And it can be so exhausting. But again, of course, we are not seeing the full picture. And there's a lot that we don't see. There's a lot of AI. There's a lot of things that they're sacrificing and things that they're struggling with behind the scenes. There's a lot of like rented houses or rented cars or, edited things. So all that being said, how is being average radical? How is being average radical. Like, how is that a good thing? Well, firstly, it's a fact that like most of us will be average. There's only a finite number of people that can be Ariana Grande or Nicolas Cage out there. The stars have to be perfectly aligned to create superhumans like that. And that's why they're so special and celebrated. So comparing ourselves to that kind of standard does way more harm than good because it's so rare. And I find it so much more empowering to compare myself to people with similar circumstances as me instead, to kind of like say, oh, they have given me a roadmap. Like, they've shown me what's possible. They came from a similar background and they did this. Like, that gives me so much power, and they've shown me the way. The Western world doesn't design a life with rest included. So taking things slow, resting, and being a very like normal level of ambitious is radical because you are defying those forces against you at all times that tell you that you need to do more, be more, go, 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 or you're not enough. You're useless. So by defying that and actually prioritizing things that are not sexy, like health and rest and fostering relationships, you are being so radical because it's easy to just isolate and focus on your work and like never do anything else. And there are a lot of people that want to do that, and that is great. It's just not me. And I'm like trying to accept that because it's really hard to actually like say that out loud and like kind of just, I don't know. Yeah. Just accept that like I am average, and that is actually beautiful. Because once I sort of accept that, I can actually be better anyway. Like by trying to be incredible, I actually always will fail and be worse off. Whereas if I try to be good enough, then I do a lot better because I'm having fun and I'm being like reasonable and I'm accepting where I'm at and not comparing myself to Ariana Grande or something. I mean, that's not who I'm comparing myself to, but you know what I mean? Like Sally Sue or whatever, who has like a totally different background than me. Again, I don't even want what Sally Sue has most of the time because what Sally Sue has takes a lot of sacrifice that I don't know if I'm willing to do that. So maybe it's okay if I'm just good enough and like getting better in my small lane, in my cozy, slower lane. Like maybe I just want to get good over here and take it a little bit slower. So knowing all of that, why do we still constantly reject this idea of being average? It's seen as so negative, being mediocre or mid or boring. It just sets us up for failure because we're so afraid of just a normal level of success. I don't want to reject this average label. I want to like reclaim it and see it as beautiful because average is actually much better than what most people are doing. That's another beautiful thing is that most people are not even doing average because a lot of us are in survival mode and, it's hard times right now. Most people are working a job they do not like and just trying to get by. I feel like shooting for just like average, like that's actually so beautiful because you're saying, no, I'm still going to try. I'm not going to kill myself or sacrifice my relationships or spend all my time working in my office, but I am going to try and like try to live a beautiful, balanced life with all experiences and grow and learn on my own terms. That cheesy quote that's like, shoot for the moon, you'll probably hit the stars or something. You can strive for great. And then if you're good enough, that's actually really awesome too. I saw this thing that said being average is already difficult. That is validating. Being average is difficult. And if people say it's not, they probably have just forgotten because they're far in their success where they just like have forgotten about their past and how hard it was to like get there, or they are just holding on to this perfect version of themselves and they're afraid if they say being average is difficult, then they'll never get past that, which is valid. But when I start to accept that being average is difficult and I'm just going to strive for, a normal level of ambition, I inevitably want to create so much more. And I have been telling myself recently, like, life is so long and I'm playing the long game. Like, I'm here for life, baby. I'm trying to be a painter for life. So I want to be sustainable and not burn out. I don't want to hurt myself for some temporary success. I want to do this for a long time. And there's absolutely no reward for sleeping the least or missing the most friends' parties. You want to take care of yourself on this journey. But yeah, I really want to reclaim this average title. Around the world, this sort of idea is very, very normal. It's actually seen as a negative quality if you are super ambitious. I know that's a thing in Sweden. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I don't know, but I do think that there is merit to being content with good enough and defying the forces that are telling us to do more and to abandon ourselves in the process. That's not okay in my book. I want my health, baby, So to sum it up, maybe a slow, steady, normal life is the active resistance that you need. Maybe setting realistic, fun goals that don't put a strain on every part of your life. Maybe that is a beautiful thing. Maybe that is a lovely path to take. And maybe I'm just telling myself all of this so that I can feel better about not being super successful. That is very, very, very likely. But even if I am, what is so bad about that? What's so bad about embracing the process, embracing balance, wanting to have fun in my life, and creating a life that feels full, even if it's not extraordinary? If this resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Check out my prints below, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day.